and welcome back to another Soul Days. All right, let's start off with a quick crypto market update. Let's check in on CoinMarketCap. So we have Solana here coming in at number 9, still in the top 10. Bitcoin holding on tight to our 21K. ETH runner up. Man, ETH was looking pretty hot a few days ago. We're at 1800 or about a week ago. Solana, we're at 34 now. We were at 35 throughout most of the day. If you saw my video from yesterday, I was kind of talking about a little bit of downside in the very short term, but overall, mostly you want to be bullish right now in a negative market where narratives are negative. But let's kind of look at why are narratives negative, and you know, what's the agenda behind the negative narrative, right? You all know that famous saying, buy low, sell high. How do you do that? It's much easier said than done. And then after our quick update, I'm gonna point out a couple of NFT things I want to bring up, some NFT news, and yeah. All right, so let's start out. Yesterday we checked our crypto fees. I talked about how I like to look at fees rather than wallets and addresses. I know I see a lot of other people talking about addresses and how that relates to strength in the crypto market. I like to look at fees. We like to look at fees here on Soul Days. I think it's a good way and a really strong way of gauging network activity. And network activity, I think, is a more direct influence on success, or at least, you know, it gives you it's a good indicator of use. And we want use. We want use of your chain, your favorite chain. So I'm on cryptofees.info, and you see here Solana in the white. It's usually directing towards a main chain here. We got some DeFi in purple. But yeah, so we got ETH on top. We looked at yesterday ETH fees. We saw a slight downward trend for ETH overall. Bitcoin kind of going sideways. Ethereum going sideways too, but on a slight downturn. Bitcoin, we have a slight decrease in new wallets created, but overall Bitcoin network fees kind of ticking upwards a little bit more usage on Bitcoin. Does that have to do with, you know, kind of world events, what's going on around the world? We got inflation, we got a war still ongoing in Ukraine, and that's one of the strong use cases of crypto, is that we can send and transact and receive large amounts of money quickly and directly, and sometimes discreetly. So yeah, as a Solana user, we like to see this, you know, 53, about in that 50 to 55,000 range in fees on the day. That's typically where Solana's been trending, and how we looked at in comparison to the big dogs like Bitcoin and Ethereum, where, you know, while Bitcoin is kind of ticking upwards, Ethereum's trending downwards on network fees. You like to see that Solana is also staying very steady. We want to see that. So overall, strong market. Validator nodes still coming in really nicely for Solana. Validation and the amount of the validators on a network can sometimes suggest more decentralization. So we know that that's something that Solana proponents, we want to see that built out. So I talked about how there's a slight downturn in wallet creating, new wallet addresses for Bitcoin. We're looking at Glassnode here, and we see that kind of the case, but in the immediate short term, have a little bit of an upward channel here, but overall coming back down again in the very short term for Bitcoin wallet addresses. But, again, we're going to continue to chop up and down. This is just an up and down movement, more or less sideways action. September's not always super great for crypto. Then we got Rectober and October, usually because people wait out, they hold, and through the roughest parts, and then kind of legs give out at the worst possible time. You want to stay strong. You don't want to dump. If you've been holding on, DCA, reinvest. The outlook can be pretty grim. Loved ones, it can be pretty harsh. So hang in there. All right. Yeah. And let's look a little closer at Ethereum here. So we got new wallets, also kind of overall slightly down over the past handful of months here on Glassnode. Fees overall. Glassnode, I don't think we'll pull, but we've looked at that, and then we can use cryptofees.info for our Solana gauger here. So let's compare it to Ethereum. We got Ethereum in gray. We got Solana flatlining against the strength that is Ethereum. But you know what? But what we're talking about is investing, right? And Solana, Solana's strong right now. I mean, strong as in it's holding. We're holding. We're hanging in there. You like to see this while Ethereum and Bitcoin are relatively making some moves here. Although overall, you could say considerably not that crazy. I mean, yeah, $2 million, a few $1 million difference here in fluctuation. But overall, we know Ethereum's strength. We know the importance of it for crypto. It's not going anywhere. We're just experiencing a really strong negative trend lately. And that's why we're talking about it right now, because we want to invest smart. And now's the time when you want to learn. Now's the time when you want to be involved in crypto. And I'm about to tell you why in a few moments. But yeah, so we have a kind of a downward trend for Ethereum overall with its network fees, network usage may be indicating that network usage is a little down. Solana, though, I'm pointing out, is staying steady in the 50s. Saw some 60s a little bit ago. If you know from my handful of other videos, I'm a fairly relatively new show here, but my other handful of videos, I do believe that NFTs right now are a major, extremely important part of crypto. Other than the peer-to-peer systems and community and trust systems that crypto allows, NFTs are a microcosm of that same effect and mirror of that. And it's also, in my point of view, arguably the strongest use case that we have as far as service goes for market and market reliability. It also proves feasibility of crypto by proving a serviceable market can exist in crypto and digital assets. And Solana, yesterday, Solana was at number 2. So here we are at number 5. Solana NFTs volume overall down. Transactions way down today. We're in the 4 digits, as where, normally it's kind of unusual to see it any lower than 5 digits. But that's interesting because we had a couple of nice movers today on Solana NFTs. So maybe what we're looking at, especially on this show, So you guys hear it and seen it here first. We're looking at the good ones on Solana NFTs, right? Because what I was looking at today throughout the day was a lot of movement on the particular collections that I was watching. So we'll check it out later, a little bit later. Although I did want to point out a new Solana NFT that I kind of wanted to bring up. But overall, still rough, getting rougher for NFTs. And there's some big NFT news as far as BendDAO and Bored Ape NFTs and the loaning system and how that's collapsing. I'll offer my opinion, of course, in a little bit later, a few moments. So, yep. Overall, Solana validators still coming in strong. We check here on stakers.info. We saw on Solana.com the validator count being at 1,900. But for some reason, I'd like to know why. What kind of information am I sharing here? But it looks like right now Solana should be inserted here, so that's good, right? We're right behind Isis and Gnosis and Cardano. Okay, so I talked about a down market. What's going on? You know, is it smart to be in crypto right now? Was it smart to be in crypto when it was at the top? You know, you can answer that for yourself. But it looks like, so Andrew Pesco from Goldman Sachs, you know, when we want to talk about who's coming into crypto, we already know that professionals are leaving, you know, traditional jobs, traditional markets, especially in asset management, for crypto, specifically digital assets, at a pretty high rate, and it's increasing. So last I heard on Glassnode, it was about 30% of asset management sector is leaving crypto every day for, leaving traditional market, their traditional jobs for the digital asset crypto market. That's 30% on a day marker. So if you have 10 people in an office, 3 of them left that day for crypto. And so we have here the former vice president of Goldman Sachs, Andrew Pesco. He left Goldman Sachs while VP for crypto, pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. And then he returned to Goldman Sachs to become his own, you know, to head his own department in qualitative research. So he leaves Goldman Sachs and returns a few years later to become his own, basically start his own, he chiefs his own investment branch within Goldman Sachs. Interesting, but that's just one example that I wanted to share with you guys about who is interested right now in crypto. And so I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but Adam Neumann, pretty major figure in real estate overall. He's made probably over $1 billion in total net on real estate investment and development alone. He's had some pretty successful venture offerings, like his clothing line. I think it's called Clockers. But yeah, so he's had some success outside of real estate, but he's been extremely successful in real estate. So recently he's made a $350 million investment, which is also notable and interesting. I'm bringing it up here through his current position as CEO with WeWork that he started. He has a 3,000 multifamily development ongoing, and he is going to add usage of a wallet that will be able to use cryptocurrency with an aim, not fully disclosing yet what it's going to be used for, but it was talked about that aim by his representative Golden, Marcus Golden, that or sorry, Davidson Golden, that here you go. His property management system will be able to make use of this new wallet called Flow. There is a Flow chain. It's not related. This new crypto wallet that he's introducing and investing in will be able to pay for services provided through his property management service for these new units. Very, very interesting. I've been talking about use case of NFTs outside of the NFT ecosystem. Crypto has been also trying to do that for quite a while, and we know that's a major narrative in getting people interested in crypto and furthering digital asset reach. So this is a clear indication here that some players in certain sectors, successful players in certain sectors, are adopting the cryptocurrency utility. We're seeing value increase for crypto. Now, if someone had the ear of Adam Neumann, you could further the cause that this service that he's offering and going to produce, his Flow wallet that he's going to introduce and produce, could be better tokenized probably, or more effectively tokenized rather, through the use of NFT, where he would issue NFTs maybe against each unit for the specific property manager on the property. But very interesting, very, very interesting. Adam Neumann from WeWork, building a crypto wallet for his property management real estate proprietary, his 3,000 multifamily units. Yeah. And so just overall, we're seeing mass exit out of crypto across the board. Small caps, we're getting wrecked. Mids, whatever those are, wrecked. And Bitcoin, I think, yeah, you're gonna have to wait for some. You're gonna be waiting quite a while for some obviously bullish news coming out of mainstream media, because right now it's all behind closed doors. It's all quiet movement inside of crypto right now, and major players are making major moves into crypto, and there's less than 10% of Bitcoin that's out in the wild available for non-investment corps to grab. We talked about nearly 90% of Bitcoin has been held for about 5 years untouched, close to 90%. So we also have options expiring. This is a kind of a regular occurrence. We're going to see, people kind of rushing towards making moves on quantity. So in other words, people are going to start to FOMO right now because they think this is the bottom. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to bring to light, if we're investing, when is it a good time to start looking at entering an opportunity? And I think it's a good time to start looking now. I'm not going to tell you when to buy. I do adopt and suggest the strategy of dollar cost averaging, DCAing, as do many level-headed people, in my humble opinion. But yeah, so if you're new, this is the time where you want to start getting familiar, because I do believe that crypto is the future, NFTs are the future, and you want to get familiar with it now. You want to start having exposure, and yeah, so this is why we're sharing this information here. So it's also interesting to note that 50% of investment, professional investment management, on assets are looking to crypto specifically to make gains, specifically for income. That in certain terms could be considered looking at crypto as a gold rush, because most assets are used as return on funds. So return on risk is pretty major in crypto, but people are looking at it for income. So you have a high risk market, but yet people are looking at half of the professional people who trade assets, buy and sell assets and hold assets, are looking at a high risk option for income. And so I pulled up this Cointelegraph article because it touches on some of those points that I pointed out, and you can see a lot of this information that I'm kind of piling and summarizing. You'll find throughout articles on Cointelegraph. Check out Cointelegraph. This article in particular that I'm pulling up is talking about options, basically leveraging, and why options are going to be important when they expire, because you're going to hear this a lot from people talking about crypto market news and things like that, and that, you know, maybe next week options are expiring and you can expect some downturn or things like, or they're just going to start speculating on the price. A lot of the time that speculation is sourced from basically calls on percentage. So because options are expiring, so they're, you know, like options are locked in when the trade is made and they're going to expire. So that means they're unlocked and they could be available for sale. Right now, Bitcoin would be at about 21,000. We just looked at 21,200 or so. This article starts at 22,000, but I mean, are leverage options, people trading options going to sell at that put? And it would be interesting to know why, because overall Bitcoin hasn't seen the low 20,000s as regularly, so we don't know what moves are going to be in store for Bitcoin, you know, up or down, because we kind of had a jump right from after the recent pump, the last recent pump up to 10,000 before pandemic. We had mostly all ups. You know, we pushed 70,000 on Bitcoin. We really haven't seen a steady price from Bitcoin. So when you hear people talking about selling on options or buying pre-option expiry, what's the source behind that speculation? Why would people sell coming out of trading options? You know, especially when the price is at 22,000. So I'm just trying to bring these things up so you can maybe do a little bit of your own. You can better interpret what might be a common talk in the crypto market. All right, so overall, Sol still strong, still holding. We looked at Crypto Slam, and overall Solana NFTs are down right now. You know, NFTs are a major part of crypto markets. Flow kind of deriving its main use on NFTs and gaming and GameFi NFTs. Polygon as well, GameFi NFTs. I have yet to really talk about Phantom, but I like Phantom. I like Wax. Wax is also very strong on NFTs. Wax has got a lot of history behind it. Wax has always been one of those confounders where, you know, Wax is an excellent chain, backed and produced by excellent people. So interesting, but just an interesting time in crypto market, and a very, very interesting time to be looking at crypto right now. You'd rather be hearing and learning and looking at crypto now when ETH is kind of, pushing 1,500 again, rather than when it was at 4,000, 4,200. Anonymous, awesome project. This was a free mint on ETH, and it was much higher than this. I think this is just the auction price for one of the mice, but this might give you an idea of the market value. And while we're on NFTs, but right before I shift to some Solana NFTs, so BendDAO with the Bored Ape and that whole fiasco. So just real quick, my take. So I guess loans were, BendDAO was a system, kind of a NFT DeFi system where you could, where they would accept Bored Apes, for example, as collateral for giving up loans of Ethereum. So at the time, when loans were given out and Bored Apes were taking as collateral into the BendDAO DeFi, now the Ethereum that was loaned out to people for their Bored Ape is more than what the Bored Ape is worth market value right now. So reportedly, BendDAO has less than 5 ETH left. And nobody's paying back their loans because the ETH that they got initially for on the lend offering when they first gave their Bored Ape, handed over their Bored Ape to BendDAO as collateral for an ETH loan, is worth more than the market value of Bored Apes. So they're not paying their loans back, and it's not just happening to BendDAO, but yeah, the tokenomic systems on some of these projects on NFTs, it's just so new. Everything is so new. A lot of the times, even with the best intentions, I'm not saying anything about BendDAO. This is not an accusation. This is actually I'm pointing out outward. I'm not pointing out BendDAO at all. But a lot of the times, people are NFT creators and NFT projects or NFT based projects. They're rushing to the game. And consider that what you will, cash grab, scam, rug, or just poor business practice, or, again, just FOMOing. Or just they had the most genuine intentions, the most legit team. These are essentially the risks involved with a very new market. This is so new. And also very, very prime and very right, like we're talking about right now, to get in. These are highly, highly movable assets in what will become a future market that is going to be massively, massively scalable. By scalable, I mean the amount it can grow, not only in volume, intake of money, but the amount of money that will funnel through the system of crypto. The use of crypto, just transactions, Bitcoin, Ethereum, it will be global. We're not just talking about national markets, international markets even, there's a bigger word for crypto than international, right? We're talking galactic. You got Elon, hinting at putting Doge on Mars. So galactic. And maybe very, very soon, if he can achieve that, and I don't doubt that, in our lifetime, intergalactic crypto will be intergalactic on the moon, on Mars, somewhere else. Okay, so yeah, I want to move over to Solana NFTs, because we like to do that here on Soul Days. And I want to point out a project that's been working for a little bit. I like to point out some OG projects every now and then, some original gangsters. And Mountain Pays, it's pretty much an OG by now. especially for utility builder. And so Mountain Pay has built their API, their application programming interface, off of Solana Pay. Solana Pay is pretty kind of a unique and interesting and strong phenomenon. Kind of unique, not totally unique to crypto, but so in other words, Solana Pay is a protocol. Let's look at what Solana Pay is before we deep dive into Mountain Pay. But Solana Pay is a protocol, basically a service that was created to be able to use through Solana a transaction, point of sale. And this point of sale will automatically convert your digital asset and create a payment at a store. Anybody who's willing to use this application or conduct that sort of service with a digital asset, with digital cash. So like for instance, real quick, then I guess Apple Square takes digital payments, so you can use Solana Pay through Apple Square and things like that. So if you're at a store and you see the little white register, the Apple Square register, you will be able to use Solana Pay. But Solana Pay needs an application interface, an API, to utilize Solana Pay, and that's what Mountain Pay is. And so the transaction fee on one of these payments through Solana Pay is 0.0005, so 305 Solana. Let's pull up the old times about roughly what Solana is now. So about close to 2 cents charge. Yeah, so not exactly free, especially when Solana starts to increase in price, but against the dollar, you're typically paying banks on an average 5 cents a day. Depends on where you bank. I'll be conservative and say 2 cents a day. So what is Mountain Pay? Mountain Pay is a Solana NFT. I'm right on the Solana.com system, so you can see that Mountain Pay is recognized as a use of point of sale using Solana Pay. Here's their site. So we're going to pull it up here. And so Mountain Pay is basically an application programming interface. So it's programmed Solana Pay into its interface. The interface being the thing, the use, the thing that you see, and you can push buttons on and it does stuff, right? It does the interactions for you. So that's the interface, and we can see a quick video here of a point of sale happening. And so, yeah, you see this register here. We got Congressman John Curtis using Mountain Pay. You can implement QR codes to make the payment. You can make it straight out of the Phantom wallet. But so I wanted to point this out because another case of NFTs building utility outside of the NFT ecosystem. So it's getting more interesting with NFTs, and eventually NFTs, as I mentioned before, where you no longer need a virtual building to issue trust. So when people enter Walmart, they know they're in Walmart, they're buying from Walmart, they can return. You go to Costco, you can buy from Costco knowing you're buying in a store that's reputable. You have customer service, you can return, you can talk to people that will help you with your product that you purchased in the store. NFTs are very infantile, but how I see NFTs is a virtual building of that corporation where there's a system of trust. And so NFTs are coming, right? And here's another use case of NFTs operating outside of the NFT ecosystem. And that's what we want. That's what we want to see if we want NFTs to continue to grow and be effective in capturing markets, so that we can further overall digital assets like crypto, and crypto overall continuing to empower us as money-making machines. Yeah, so I guess a little bit of branding here from Mtn Frens is that they're product faced, so they're building infrastructure, which we saw with Mtn Pay, their interface, and they want to utilize Sol-based payments, Solana-based payments to enter into commerce. So I can, in other words, I can go to my favorite coffee shop, and if they got Square Payment or something like that, I can use my Mtn Friend, I can use my Mtn Pay to make that payment of Solana, of whatever Phantom wallet can hold, and whatever's accepted through Solana Pay right now. Solana Pay, obviously you can use Sol. Yeah, that's actually, I'm bringing up a good question for my own self here. So, yeah, so here you go. You can, not just Square payment services, but Venmo and Cash App and stuff like that. So any censorship resistant platform, you can use Mtn Pay, and Mtn Frens is how we're gonna how we're gonna be able to use Mtn Pay. So we're here on Magic Eden, and here's our Mtn Frens. Got a floor of 1.1 Sol, which is about $37. You pick up one of these Mtn Frens, and through your Phantom wallet, you can start conducting transactions through Sol Pay using the Mtn Frens API, using the Mtn Frens interface as a phone app on your phone, or just through the Phantom wallet. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. So, and another thing I wanted to point out on Solana is WordCell. So WordCell is building a publishing stack on Solana. It's going to be, they're calling themselves decentralized. This is extremely interesting. I wanted to point out really quickly, because is this in other words, on Solana, a GitHub? Can this be a registry? Can this be is this actually going to be a publishing stack on Solana, provided by Solana? So here we have Solana offering a service that is pretty wide reaching and going to be well used, just like GitHub for developers, as a repository, as a registry. This is extremely interesting, and again, extremely bullish for Solana, how Solana is building. I pointed out Solana is the number 3 builder. So we see here daily issuance against development on the protocol, and Solana coming in strong right behind Bitcoin. So this issuance, if you check it out, does go towards payments of employees, and those employees will have to be or hold titles that are directly related to development. So core issuance brings Solana at number 3 across major chains. And that's very good, because we talked about where Solana is, where it's trending with transaction fees, which shows network usage staying strong, staying steady, all the while macro and crypto on a strong negative narrative, heading and ticking downward slightly, although overall still in a really good position to continue its really phenomenal run on capturing a massive and, you know, galactic market. Mtn Frens. Tiny drops in an ocean that are going to begin to amass and mount up to be very, very meaningful. And this is one of those projects, and there'll be many others coming. And so, yeah, quick update again on just Solana NFT market now. So this is, so in the wake of ABC's Abracadabra, some simple art, we looked at it the other day. Still trending, still a lot of buys, a lot of sells, a lot of listings happening, a lot of movement on this ABC collection, 10,000 collection, 0% royalties. We're gonna, you know, if you're familiar with NFTs, if you're new, this is for you, but derivatives will follow in the wake of popular trends, of hot movers, and you're gonna start to see a bunch of oddball projects trying to bank off of a hot topic, right? So no knock on ICU, but maybe this is a little bit of a derivative play. It's not labeled as a derivative, but it's definitely a play off of the trend, which is fine. But this is, I think it's important to note, because if you're coming into Solana NFTs, kind of want to, you know, be familiar with what you're buying, and me sharing my what I've learned, my experiences, it softens the learning curve a little bit, especially from getting wrecked on buying projects that are just like, they look hot, right? This was pretty much, so we're gonna go to LMNFT, the mint site. Yeah, so this was more or less a zero cost mint. The royalty, let's check the royalties here. So yeah, double digit royalty, 12% on the 2% transaction fee. So that's 14% total that you're going to be charged when you sell. But the artist royalties also affect a mint price, so it won't exactly be zero when you go and mint it. You also have the protocol minting fees, which add up to be a little bit. So most likely, in my experience, on a free, quote unquote, free mint, it'll still kind of charge you upwards of 0.015, likely higher on a 12% artist royalty. So you go to mint one of those at 0.01-ish, 0.02-ish, and you hit the market, secondary market. You know, this is doing extremely well, right? But again, crypto, Solana, NFTs, even though we have blockchains, even though everything's open and public, and you know, you can check it immediately, automatic ledger, timestamp, you still don't know who is buying what. You can just see that people are buying. You can just see that people are trading a token, an asset, but you don't know who. It could very well be the creators themselves, building hype by buying and minting their own collection, making it look like people are buying this. And then once they see a unique wallet, I'm not accusing ICU. I'm just pointing out some things that I've learned from other actual illegitimate projects, and some not so savory market kind of moves. Collections, creators will buy their own collection once they see a unique wallet. You know, they might dump on you, especially if they're not getting in action. It's just them cycling through, washing out their own trades. You know, they might take one hit, one piece of bait. You never know. Again, this is not a collection, but this is interesting because I'm pointing it out. It's running off of the ABC trend. You know, they're talking about building off the children, your inner child type scenario. But then again, actually kind of interesting art, right? So I like to check resolution on a NFT itself. sometimes tiny resolution, like if it's a little square, it's kind of a telltale sign of ripped art. Little investment in the creator, by the creator, into its own project. Just really quick and easy ways of vetting something. Let's take a look. So Cartoon Ape was actually sitting in its mint for several days, maybe. Finally, looks like it finally minted out. And sometimes slow mints, I already mentioned that sometimes projects, if they're illegitimate, they'll mint their own project out. Or not illegitimate, but just kind of like, they've got their own agenda attached to the project, which could also turn out fine. This is such a venture move here, but so Cartoon Apes were sitting in its own mint for several days, and it finally minted out, I'm assuming, and here it's on secondary, and this was moving quite a bit. We might still see it here. No, not anymore in the active collections, but it was active. So, but this was going today, so I kind of just wanted to point it out. Daily movers. SoDead, we like to look at SoDead here. Yeah, demons are getting bought up because there's some exclusive channels being opened in the Discord of SoDead for certain traits, which is cool. Shout out to my SoDeads, my Soul Demons, Blood Gang. And here we have ABCs still moving, still working. This morning, ABC floor was above 3.5. Saw some sells in the 4 Sol at just above floor, and now we're pulling back pretty hard here, 2.1. Yep. So overall, that's kind of why I pointed out earlier. Interesting to note that Solana, maybe this is just a glitch in information pool here from CryptoSlam. Not sure, probably not, but just 4-digit transactions, near 75% down on the day for Solana NFT trading volume. That's massive. That's a massive downward move here. So wow. But like I mentioned, that's interesting because at least the projects that I was watching, we saw ICU go from a free mint to some sales in 1 Sol, if that's actually what's happening here. Cartoon Apes was a free mint and was absolutely hitting off for a little bit. This is not me endorsing them, and in fact it might be a little bit of a different endorsement, just pointing them out because you want to, as a new NFT buyer on Solana or any chain, you want to know why something's pumping first before you start to FOMO in. And those certain kind of what we call degen mints, a lot of reason to speculate as to why and who's buying those. So look at it first. Look at it closely first. And in my past videos, I kind of show really quickly how you can check out the legitimacy of a project, through SoulScan, checking the Twitter. If they got all the links there, some quick check of the NFT itself, the picture resolution, things like that. And there you have it. Solana NFTs, ABCs still moving, though we're trending pretty down. We got Mtn Frens. Mtn Frens, excellent, interesting utility project. Working off Mountain Pay. They recently subscribed and are issuing and possibly publishing on WordCell. WordCell could be possibly just another reason why you want to be bullish on Solana. Registry, repository, publishing stack coming to Solana, or already issuing publishings. open sourced. Yeah, so you still got SoDead, Fraction. See a Fraction will pop up here. Fraction was really moving really well. I think it's still holding its 0.25-ish, 0.24-ish floor, which is excellent. Dumplies, really cool project. Considered a degen at first. Some of the collection is Giphy art. Some of it's static. But yeah, initially a low entry mint, and we're seeing a 0.5 floor. Golden Straw, an additive collection to the Fruits collection. Fruits was a pretty well hyped project. Still maintaining a little bit over a 1 sol floor, usually trending around 2 sol. But Eclectic Beings, I continually see Eclectic Beings being sold here. So maybe I'll check that one out. I looked at it earlier. Nothing really stood out. So maybe we'll look at Eclectic Beings a little closer. We'll have a return to Solana NFT market video coming up, where kind of like my previous videos, where my main focus is on Solana NFTs. But I'm really liking this crypto market update. If you guys are too, let me know. Continue to subscribe. Shout me out. I'm on Twitter. And I'm building an alpha DAO. I've been calling alpha on Solana NFTs. I love it. I enjoy it. It's always been fun for me. And yeah, have fun, trade safe, enjoy. See you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.